Right. Let's go to the docks. Probably can't go.
Well met.
Need official business, right? You have some monies. Hooded man approaches you, his face heavily shadowed beneath his hood. Excuse me, Maria Wilkinson. I have an urgent message to deliver to you. What message do you carry? There is a man near the docks of the city who wishes to speak with you. He has news concerning your father, which is of great importance. Seek out Xanthar, just north of the dock gates in the market district. He will be able to tell you more. Very well, I'll seek out this Xanthar. I've tarried here long enough. Xanthar can tell you more. Go with haste, as it is a matter of some urgency. Without another word, the strange man walks away briskly. Like a thief or rogue of some sort.
Hello.
Bald man standing before you carries all manner of scars and markings upon his body. I'm Xanthar, and if I am not mistaken, you are Maria Wilkinson, daughter of Okaris Wilkinson. Would I be correct in this assumption? Correct. What's this about my father? I wish to send a message to Magistrate Okaris. Xanthar's expression turns to a cold sneer. The line of Wilkinson ends today, and it shall begin with your death. Suddenly, you notice a group of men approaching from the shadows, blades drawn, as they rapidly approach you. By the look upon their faces, you believe it's safe to assume they want your head. I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, this is not a concern. These are not good enough, and I can protect myself well enough. Yeah, these are just pretty cool. Why did you stop moving? Why did you take away the... fuck you. Yeah, I don't actually need all that much help, I just need someone to do the killing. I'll tank things. This fucking system, where these are not states you activate, they just sort of activate and deactivate. Then no, they deactivate on their own, but they don't activate on their own. It's weirdly unreliable.
This day is your last.
Marcus, right. 100 gold.
Yes, hello to you.
Marcus turns his gaze toward you as you approach. At your approach, his dark eyes burn with intensity, and his hand does not stray far from the blade at his side. It's good to see you, Maria Wilkinson, daughter of Okaris Wilkinson. I pray that you have not suffered any great injury at the hands of these fiendish assassins. I think I'm fine, thanks to you. Marcus removes a vial containing a healing salve, applying it gently to your wounds, which I don't have. What exactly are you applying it to then? I would say you narrowly avoided an end to your short life, my friend.
Any idea why those men attacked me?
I have heard rumors that someone in Garak has reasons to see your father dead, but why I do not know. It would be a great tragedy for the Empire to lose a man such as Okaris, and I intend to do what I can to stop it.
That is ill news. We must discover who's behind this.
I'm going to look into this matter further and see if I may discern the culprit behind this attack. In the meantime, it would be wise for you to warn your father of the danger you are in.
Why don't I join you in your search?
That would likely prove dangerous. Your enemies may wish to strike again. Your presence would prove more of a liability than an aid, noble as your intentions may be. Bid you farewell for now. Should I discover any information that would prove of importance to you or your father, I will contact you immediately. Raka bless you and keep you safe. I need to report. A couple of extra weapons. I will sell them off. Do I need a ranged weapon? Wouldn't be a horrible idea to have one. Short bow preferably. No, can't use it. I can only use simple weapons. Maybe a sling. I mean, we are not looking for a weapon that we can use to kill stuff. We're looking for a ranged weapon when we have to, when we're in a desperate situation. Or absolutely have to have a ranged weapon. So it's a good thing to have. But that doesn't take all that much carry weight or inventory space. It's a fairly harmless thing to carry around. One more thing. I need to inform the witch, if she's still here, that people are looking for her. I have some concerns that they might be suspicious of me and be tracking me where I go, but it's not like I see anyone. We also need to loot this room.
Well met.
So, what brings you to my chamber, lass? I would have thought our dealings were finished. Some strange men have been asking about you, Kara. Kara's eyes grow wide, and her face pales in fear. What did these men look like, lass? Tell me quickly. There were 3 of them, all wearing blood-red armor. Though you did not think it possible, Kara's face grows even more pale. The disciples of Akana. I must get out of here. But why? Why must you go now? Suddenly, Kara's eyes dart from your gaze to the door of her chamber. You turn to see the armored forms of the men seeking the elven woman, and they appeared none too happy. Yeah, this was to be expected. You hear Gazaran's voice booming behind you. A latch closes and you can hear his men barring the door from the inside so no one will interrupt. I knew you would lead us to the witch soon enough. We have been closely watching you since our first meeting out in the streets. Kara scowls at Gazaran. I should have known that foul stench I smelt upon the air was you, Gazaran. You don't intend to ever leave me in peace, do you? Gazaran snickers. There is nowhere left for you to go, witch. The time has come for you to face your punishment.
Kara takes hold of your arm to steady herself, and you feel her hand shaking beneath her great grasp.
I don't know exactly how we're going to get out of this one. These fellows are not ones to be trifled with. Any suggestions on what we can do?
Kara leans in and whispers into your ear.
If you can distract Kazaran for a moment, and we may be able to surprise them with an attack. I'll use the Bloodstone. Hopefully that will be enough. I'll see what I can do. Thanks. Good luck, Varia. I will wait for the chance to post itself. Then I shall make my strike.
Can I talk to these guys? I mean, they're fine, but they're not super powerful. So, little worm, do you have any last words before joining this witch in death?
Why do you want Kara so badly?
This is a matter which does not concern you, little fool, and one which I am quite afraid you will not live long enough to learn. Now, prepare to meet the mother of death and accept her cold embrace. Zaron lowers his mace and prepares to engage in combat. His men jump eagerly into the Yeah, I need the expertise more quickly or I'm dead. It might be still low level enough that sleep affects them. I mean, I'm a bard and a level 4 bard, and they're more or less the same state. Problem with a lot of these abilities is that I'm smack in the middle of things. I think we're better off acting as a decoy. Let her do the job. As long as we get Kazaran busy, that's the important part. Yeah, that'll definitely make a difference. That's not acceptable. As Kazaran falls to the ground, you feel that it is probably safe to unbar the door and escape now. Okay, how do I escape? Doombringer on hit stun. Holy shit, that is a good one. 50% chance to stun a target. It's not a non-magical weapon, but that's good. Just one tower shield. We'll hold on to the shield. If we get a warrior to aid us, it'll be of great use to him. Also, I don't think it's all that valuable.
Well met.
Kara breathes heavily with the exertion of her fight against the disciples of Akana, but her eyes are clear as she looks up to you.
I thank you for your aid, lass. I do not know if I could have staved them off alone. Well, I wasn't going to let let you die. Yes, and such would surely have been my fate if you had not been here to assist me. Know that you have my gratitude. I must flee this place soon, for others of Saran's ilk may be here in the city, and this current reprieve will not last long. I fear Garak is no longer safe for me.
I can offer her my protection, but I'm not sure that will count for much.
Wait, were those men hunting you?
Kara's eyes danced nervously around the room.
There's truly no time for such a tale at the moment, milady. I must make my escape before more of the disciples find me. For now, I bid you farewell, lass. Who knows, perhaps fate shall place our paths along the same road once more. But for the moment, I must flee the city before it's too late.
Kara waves in farewell and quickly exits the chamber, leaving you to ponder over these strange events. Well, we get extra funds out of this, in exchange for a fairly easy fight, I'd say. Enchanted small shield, chainmail masks, and cash. Well, we got a better shield out of it. We are going to limit ourselves to small shields because we do have to actually cast spells more quite often, so I don't want the arcane spell failure percentage to grow. 10% is already about as high as I'm willing to take. What about you? There's a lower level to this place. Mikhail Ravenclaw.
Hello?
Good prizes. The helmet seems to be only a visual thing. I'll still wear one. Who knows? Might actually be somewhat useful too. It's only 400 if we sell it. And it is a fantastic shield. Problem is it weighs a ton. Tombbringer would require, while a good weapon would require us to take a weapon feat to be able to use, and it's non-magical too. I think I'll just sell it away. It would have been useful if a fighter joins our group, but pretty much worthless for anyone else. So 5,600. A decent amount of gold. Not exactly a huge deal, but we might be thinking about upgrading our equipment. But I'm not sure what I would even want to upgrade to. There's really not much room with the armor. There's really like +1 attack bonus. It's not even an enchantment bonus, just attack bonus. I think we should focus on buying usable stuff, like anything that has a spell effect we can use X amount of times per day. That sort of crap. That's why we play this character fundamentally, so that has to be supported. +1 into a physical attack is not gonna make much of a difference. I only have 2 wands at least. 3, so I'm not buying extra ones. Potions maybe? Wouldn't want to buy too many. A single lore potion might be worthwhile. It's not much of an investment, and it often saves you money. The rest is sort of Clarity potion might be nice. All the potions are pretty much 85 gold, support potions. Clarity would be immune to mind affecting effects, that's sometimes very useful. Splendor would be extra charisma and persuasion chance. That's so fundamentally important to how we play our characters, I want to buy that too. That'll be it. 5,400 gold left as Aegusra. Creatures with 5 or more hit dice are unaffected, so last levels where sleep is useful. Giles. Giles comes running toward you quickly. It is so good to see you alive, Madame Beria. Her father has been worried sick since he heard of the attempt on your life.
Yes, where can I find him?
He is finishing up some meetings in the Grand Hall and has asked that you meet him there. Giles bows before you and hurries off once more. He news on experiments.
Greetings.
Kirill Captain.
Well met.
Captain Anagril, the grizzled old leader of Garak's garrison, beams at your approach. I hope this night finds you well, Madame Beria. Tell me, what may I do for you today?
I wish to speak with my father. Where is he?
Currently your father is in important council envoys for Emperor Raka. They've been in discussion for quite some time, so I'm not sure when he'll be available. Rest assured, I'm sure he'll send for you as soon as he can.
But he summoned me here.
Yes, I'm sure Magistrate Ocaria did, Madame Beria, and that suggests that his important council is indeed nearing its end. If you are unwilling to wait patiently for him here, I will inform your father that he'll find you pacing the inner halls.
He didn't even come to my citizenship today.
I had completely forgotten that was today. Congratulations on your achievement, Madame Beria, and I am sure it must have been an important visit for your father to have missed it. He's quite proud of you after all.
He sure has a strange way of showing it.
That doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's just that Magistrate Wilkinson has quite a bit on his mind at the moment. There's talk of war brewing in the north, and he's doing all he can to ensure it doesn't reach us.
I suppose you're right, Captain.
My character understands all this, but that doesn't mean she likes it. Please do. Your father is a great man, one that I would follow into any battle. It has always pained me to see such a rift come between you two.
Thank you, Captain. It's nice talking to you.
Any time, lass. I shall pray for Raka to keep you safe. and guide you with his graceful hand. Fare thee well, Madame Veria, and should you need anything else, do not hesitate to ask.
What do we have here? Chamber of Chancellor Varhoon, Council Chamber. Chamber of the Control Stone, Storage Room, Imperial Treasury, Library. Can we go to these other areas?
I greet you.
Chancellor Varhoon, High Chancellor of Garak, second in command only to your father, does not even bother to look up as you approach his desk.
Speak your business quickly, Veria, for I have little time to spare in idle chatter with you. Some of us don't have as much time to waste as your father does.
My instructor at the academy mentioned that I was being observed by an elite training facility of the Empire. Mentioned that you had overheard this information, and I was hoping you could tell me more about it.
Yes. It seems the Empire is quite eager to get their hands on the daughter of Arcaria Wilkinson. No doubt you'll get the position as well, for your father could do no wrong in the Empire's eyes, including the siring of his children. Not that it matters. You follow your own counsel as you see fit. I suppose it is fine for the Wilkinson family to break the rules when they feel they need, while the rest of us must heed the letter of the law. So to answer your question, yes, it appears you have garnered some attention to yourself. They'll probably even send you back to rule this city when they're done training you, and I'll run away as your lackey.
Well, glad to see he's not bitter about it. Can you tell me a bit more, perhaps a bit regarding what I should expect?
I could, but I don't believe I will. Your observers are keeping an eye on you from a distance, attempting to judge your character and other such nonsense. I think it will be more entertaining to let you squirm for a while. Don't fear, though. I'm sure the Empire's love of your father will be more than enough to secure your acceptance. After all, the daughter of Arcaris Wilkinson could do no wrong, now could she?
Yeah. Sounds like you've got some issues with our family. Arhoon's mouth dips in a sarcastic leer.
But it's good to see that your training at the academy has sharpened your wits, so girl. Now please be on your way, for I have little desire to speak with you further.
Leave the elderly Chancellor Varhoon to his work. Salty, salty Chancellor Varhoon. Feels like he deserves these things. Just because he's old. Well, I have no way to really unlock this unless I just bash it down, so let's bypass that. Out of curiosity, can I pickpocket him? Oh, that's not good. The tent was detected, but there's no one there to detect it. At least that I can see, so better not to keep trying. My stealth skills aren't exactly great either, so that could be a contributing factor. We could consider taking invisibility as a spell. That would guarantee the stealth to be sufficiently high.
History. We've read all these. We had the history book. Went through all these. Think. Definitely went through the history things. Not sure if it has the exact same chapters though. I would assume it does. It's fairly easy to check. I don't have to go through them again, I just need to see the index. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crimson Prophet. Ancient Aberan, Coming of Raka. Raka cast down the old regime. Imperial Aberan, Crimson Prophet. So 5 chapters. Seven, 5, 6. I'll skim them to see if they have anything new. 4. 2. So 3 and 1. Yeah, these are not the same, but this is a lot of reading. And they're all fairly long. I think I'll read them at the end. I'll check the other rooms first. I'll read them and end things there. Talk to our father after in the next session. Can I bash these?
There's more where that came from.
Missed. Good job. Yes, but it absorbs so much damage that it's a huge pain in the ass for us. Still, I want to see what's in it. That's what we can do with this. Ledger 13, Control Stone. So it's basically Control Stone uses guide. I feel like the Control Stone system seems like an incredibly risky thing. You only need a single trader basically, or someone who's a little bit bitter, and you're fucked. Ziram, High Sorcerer of Gara. Ziram, the rather eccentric High Sorcerer of Gara, greets you heartily as you approach. Welcome and well met, young lass. Might I ask what brings such esteemed company to my chamber?
What can you tell me about this chamber?
This, young madam, is the chamber of the Control Stone, harnessing the collective power of Garak's most powerful sorcerers. The Control Stone has allowed us to achieve grand heights in arcane advancement. The main purpose of this Control Stone is to operate the Imperial District's magic defenses, in the event that Garak were to ever come under attack. You see, by utilizing the massive power locked within the Control Stone, we can indefinitely raise a protective shield around each of the gates in the Imperial District. These shields are impervious to all forms of damage, a grand defense indeed. In addition to our defense system, however, the Control Stone also operates the magical constructs you have likely seen wandering the Imperial District. These massive laborers allow us to enjoy a bit of comfort, mindlessly performing all heavy physical labor in our bodies.
What if the constructs turn against us?
No, but that would be impossible. The constructs are built to specifically follow the orders of the Control Stone. They are incapable of acting without its direction, so you see we are in complete control of the whole system. Is there anything else you may help you with today, lass?
Interestingly enough, I can't even mention the fact that one of the gnomes is experimenting with independent control systems and power systems. Seems like a very efficient system.
It is indeed, my young friend. Indeed it is. Soon we will be capable of automating the entirety of Garak, a feat that may be commonplace in the civilized regions of the Empire, but a monumental achievement here along the frontier. Is there anything else?
Anything interesting going around here?
Not much worth talking about, I'm afraid. Janthos the Inventor, a gnomish student of mine, has been working on several experiments with the constructs. You may want to see if you can track him down, if you're looking for something a bit more exciting.
Still can't mention the experiment he's doing. Mind if I look at the control stone?
I'm afraid that is quite impossible at the moment, lass. The stone must be kept active to allow the constructs to operate. Unfortunately, while the stone is operating, it is extremely dangerous to manipulate.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I don't get it though. How do you even activate it if you can't manipulate it while it's on?
Oh well, I was hoping for a bit of good company for a change.
Okay, I just talked to you for a long time. You useless old sack of crap. We need to know how this works. Without a doubt, it's just a matter of time before it becomes an issue. Might as well learn it now. At the same time, I need to be able to craft wands before I can easily get access to the gold stone instructions. Rations. I have no interest in really stealing from this unless it's something properly useful. I don't think a single gold piece is exactly intended to store treasure here. Bard's gloves, okay. I'm a bard. Minstrel. This all seems like random spawned crap, so I'll just take it. Probably could have gotten something better out of this if I would have waited for a few levels before looting it. Right, there's the treasury and that's it. Probably can't access the treasury. I do want to take a look at it a little bit. Via a defense system of some sort.
Well met.
Doors to the Imperial Treasury have been sealed shut, Madame Beria. In order from your father, no one is allowed inside. That's unusual. Why have the doors been sealed?
Well, I haven't been told exactly, but rumors hold the Imperial Army uncovered some sort of ancient artifact during their last campaign against the barbarians of the north.
What sort of artifact?
I'm really not sure, madam, and it is not my station to ask such questions. I've merely been given my orders.
Very well, I'll be on my way then.
Good night to you, madam, and may Vaka keep you safe. Keep you in his grace.
So, the fact that there is something special stored there is valuable information. Could I access the book without destroying it? I don't think I can at the moment. I mean, without destroying the chest itself. Okay, let's see the books. I'm not sure if it's gonna be all that relevant. The History of Aberan, an account of the world's history, inscribed by Melveth, the High Sage of the Empire of Soraka. Volume 1, The Creation of the World. In the beginning there was only the void, an eternal expanse of nothingness stretching throughout the entirety of the universe, and Eon, father of the fates, the great creator. For untold ages, Eon existed in isolation within the void, lying in endless sleep throughout the passage of time. Immortals cannot begin to comprehend the nature of the void, for it is a realm of nothingness. But here Eon dwelt until a strange occurrence awoke him from his slumber. As he slept, a dream came to Eon of others besides himself within the emptiness of the void. So great are even the thoughts of Eon that a great darkness took shape within the void, coalescing into the form of a horrible being whom we on Aberan know as Vakaris, Master of the Night. The blackness of Vakaris stretched out throughout the void, filling it with the darkness of the night, and Eon, fearful of the change covering his realm, wished for a light to guide his path. A massive ball of flame erupted at his thought, pushing back the taint of Vakaris wherever its light touched. Such was the birth of Makal, King of the Sun. Vakaris looked upon his new rival with hate and scorn. He attempted to quell the Knight of Makal, but his efforts were in vain, for Makal stood steadfast against the onslaught of the Master of the Night. From that time forth, Vakaris swore to extinguish the flaring brilliance of Makal, and the two have been locked in their struggle ever since. Their cycle is endless, for Vakaris will often wrestle down the might of Makal, but his victory is short-lived, for with the dawn, Makal unerringly rises once more, his magnificent radiance filling the void with its flight once more, and so were born the day and the night. Eon watched his creations in wonder, amazed at the change they had brought throughout the void. But Vakaris and Makal paid little heed to Eon, and in time he wished to have a companion with whom he could share the endless passage of time. Once more Eon thought took form, this time the form of a woman who later mortals named Avariel, Mother of Nature. For her, Eon crafted a great orb which he named Aberan, Gift of the Gods. Avariel, awakening into existence, looked first upon Aberan, instantly becoming enamored to it. This dismayed Eon, for his new companion paid little heed to him, instead gazing endlessly upon Eon's gift. For an age, Eon sought to gain Avariel's favor, but her thoughts remained bent upon Aberan. Finally, in desperation, Eon descended upon Aberan's surface, populating it with all manner of seas, mountains, and rock. Avariel
overjoyed at the thought of being able to craft Aberan to her desire, came to truly look upon Eon for the first time, and forever afterwards they have remained together, shaping our world as they see fit. Akaris and Makal, jealous of Avariel's beauty, came to Eon, telling him that they too wished to have companions to join them in the void. Eon, knowing the loneliness of the void and seeking an end to the eternal conflict between Vakaris and Makal, complied, creating a mistress for each as his fellow god. To Vakaris he gave Akana, known to us as the Mistress of Death, and to Makal he gave Elhora, who would later be called the Queen of the Stars. Eon's plan succeeded for a time, for Vakaris turned his attention away from Makal, and an age of peace ensued. But had Eon known the consequences of his creations, he may have acted differently, for soon Aberan would be racked with the conflicts of the gods, a war that would change the world forever. Account of the inscribed ancient days. As the ages passed, Avariel, Mother of Nature, grew lonely upon her trips to Aberan's surface and decided to create living things in the image of the gods. She came to her companion Eon, Father of the Fates, and begged that he comply with her wishes. Eon, never one to refuse his mistress, sought to bring life to the surface of Aberan, but with little avail, for as soon as he would breathe life into his creations, they would quickly freeze and die. Eon came to Makal, King of the Sun, and pleaded him to warm the surface of Aberan with his radiance, to which Makal complied. Returning once more to the world, Eon brought all manner of creatures into being, but his grandest achievement was the race of elves, whom Avariel was always held closest to her heart. But Akana, mistress of Vakaris, master of the night, grew jealous when she gazed upon Aberan, designing such a gift for her own. Vakaris, though has always been capable only of darkness and destruction, and could not give his mistress a world of her own. In spite, Akana cursed Vakaris, calling him a weakling and a fool, fueling resentment and hatred within him. Akana knew her master's nature, and as she continued to feed his anger, Vakaris grew enormous in size, the darkness of his being covering all of Aberan, eclipsing the light of Makal, and covering the world in an eternal night. Under the cover of his shadow, Akana came to Aberan, destroying all that stood before her way. The elves cried out to the gods in horror at the death and darkness stretched over Aberan. Elhora sought to ease their suffering, sparkling the night sky with thousands of stars to guide their path in the dark. Makal placed 2 large orbs in the sky, which, while paling to the radiance of his sun, brought some relief to the endlessness of the night. When Avariel caught word of the destruction, she begged Eon to intervene. Coming among the gods whom he had created, Eon called a great council among the gods, bringing a halt to Akana's wave of death upon Aberan. But the gods could little agree upon a solution to their quarrels, for each had their own desires. It appeared that the war would begin anew at any moment, and it surely would have, had Eon not once more intervened. Seeking a compromise among the various gods, Eon proposed a solution. Each of the gods would be given a portion of the world to rule as they saw fit, but only in their realm would they hold dominance. Makal was given the realm of the sky and the heavens. For half of each day, he would rule supreme over Aberan, to watch and keep safe. The other half of each day belonged to Vakaris, who would cover the world with his darkness. But even then, Elhora would fight the skies with her stars to guide the creatures of the land and ensure that the gods could keep watch over the world below. Akana, who had sought dominion over Aberan, was instead given rule of the underworld, so that as light passed out of Aberan, it would come to populate her realm. Avariel took claim over the wildlands of the world, and her touch can be seen in all things that live and grow even today. Finally, Eon refused dominance over any realm, instead opting to watch over the fate of the world, guiding it as he saw fit from the void. So did the world come to be as it is today. The gods continued to populate the lands with many creatures both large and small, and the ages saw the rise of many new races, dwarves and gnomes, halflings and humans, goblins and orcs, and countless others. The gods contented themselves to work through their creations, watching in amazement as the world grew and flourished. But the gods seemed never to be fully at peace with one another, and soon war would be on the horizon once more. The War of Attrition. Akana, Mistress of Death, ruled over the underworld for many ages in contentment with her new realm. As time went by though, her desire for power grew stronger, and as peace began to reign once more upon Eberron, Akana's realm slowed in its growth. There was little Akana could do to sow war and dissent upon Eberron, however, for the gods watched her closely, and she was not allowed to pass the boundaries of the underworld. But, in an age now long lost to history, a plan came to Akana, and she conceived a way to work her will upon the world above. Calling upon her master of Akaris, Lord of the Night, Akana sought to create an offspring of her loins, in a similar fashion to the living creatures upon Abaron's surface. To her surprise her plan worked, and Akana brought forth a great multitude of eggs, encasing her foul children. Bakaris took the eggs with him, hurling them down upon Eberron in the darkest hours of the night. There the eggs laid in wait for many years, unseen by the unwatchful eyes of their fellow gods. As the eggs began to hatch, a horde of demonic spawn emerged, fighting amongst one another for supremacy. By far the greatest among these evil siblings would later be known as the Khazgarath, Lord of Destruction. His power rivaled even the gods. Uniting his fellow siblings under his strength, Khazgarath led his army through Eberron, destroying all who would oppose him. None could stand before Khazgarath and his army, and the races of Eberron hid in fear of the terror unleashed upon their world. Eon, father of the Fates, looked upon Eberron in dismay, for he had deemed that the gods must remain free of the fate of Eberron. Yet Khazgarath appeared poised to destroy all that the gods had worked so hard to create. He went to Makal, king of the sun, and Elhora, queen of the stars, and sought their counsel. Elhora, also distracted over the carnage occurring on Eberron, agreed to conceive a child of her own, one capable of standing against Khazgarath's might. Elhora found a woman fitting of her child, and implanted the seed of her offspring within the woman. So was Valana, Lady of Light, born unto the mortals of Eberron, though she carried a human form. Valana possessed the divine strength of her parentage, and as she grew in age, she slowly united the oppressed people of Eberron under her leadership. By the time Valana reached maturity, much of Eberron lay in ruins, and it seemed Khazgarath would soon hold sway over the entirety of the world. Valana, seeing that time was short, led those who would follow her from hiding to battle against Khazgarath and his demons. So did the War of Attrition begin, and tales hold that all corners of the world were stained red with blood during the ensuing battles. But Valana and her followers pushed back the hordes of Khazgarath, and upon the sacred mountain, Valana stood in single combat with Khazgarath himself. In the end, Khazgarath was defeated, but Valana could find no way to destroy him completely. Eon, watching from the void, realized that only with his aid could Khazgarath's evil be ended for good. He brought into being a child of his own, Justikar, Lord of Balance, and he sent his newly created offspring to the sacred mountain. There, Justikar wrought a great prison, capable of containing Khazgarath's might for all eternity. But it required Valana sacrifice herself as well to ensure Khazgarath could never emerge once more. Valana grew saddened by this news, for she had come to love the world she had saved, and had little desire to leave it yet. But as she gazed upon the ruin and destruction brought upon the lands, she knew that all would be lost if Khazgarath were ever to be released again. Justikar sealed the Lord of Destruction within his prison, and Valana placed her blade to her heart. Plunging the world sword deep into her breast, Valana's blood poured over the seals wrought by Justikar. Karlsgaroth was bound to his prison for all eternity. With her last breath, Valana bid the world of Aberon farewell, and her body was buried upon the sacred mountain, monument to the sacrifice which saved us all from certain destruction. As for Chossikar, his fate remains unknown. Some claim that he returned to his father in the void, while others believe he stands as the eternal guardian over Karlsgaroth's prison. The truth may never be known, for the Keeper of Balance has passed now out of all tales and legends. Golden Age. There are few accounts of the age which followed the War of Attrition, for it was a time of chaos, as the world attempted to recover from the destruction brought by Karlsgaroth. We do know that this time saw the first rise of empires and kingdoms, slowly giving birth to civilizations as we know it. These early realms viewed with one another constantly. Vied with one another constantly for dominion, and war was commonplace as each attempted to secure its dominion. In time, one realm gained mastery over much of Aberon, uniting its people through peace and knowledge, rather than the strength of the blade. This mighty realm was called Garrus, the Golden Realm, and it became renowned for great achievements in lore, sorcery, and technology. It is difficult to discern which tales of Garrus hold merit, but legend claims its people found a way to escape death, becoming immortals of great power. The city of Melora, from which the Golden Emperors ruled Garrus, is said to have been raised from its foundations to rest among the clouds, a jewel in the sky for all to marvel upon. For 1,000 years Garrus maintained peace across Aberon, a grand golden age from which emerged the greatest wonders ever to be seen upon this world. In time, though, legend holds that the glory of Garrus waned and the powerful sorceries wrought during the Golden Age began to fail. Great calamity struck in the sky city of Melora, and it was sent hurling down upon the lands below, destroying much of the splendor of the Golden Realm. The cause for this disaster is unknown to us, for any records that may have been kept were surely destroyed in the ensuing destruction. Garrus's fate has forever since remained a mystery. And so the days of the Golden Age came to an end, heralding the beginning of a long era of darkness and war. Age of Darkness. When the Golden Realm of Garrus fell, the people of Aberon found themselves lost and forlorn. For a millennia, Garrus had maintained peace and order upon this world, and war had become all but unknown. War would soon begin anew, though, as many sought to subject the chaotic lands to their rule. These were dark times for Aberon, for many tyrants arose to power, constantly warring among themselves for dominance. The wonders of the Golden Age were largely lost, and deadly plagues ravaged the weary lands even further. The elves and dwarves, once steadfast allies of humans, grew distant and hid the realms in secluded regions of Aberon. It seemed there was little hope to be had, and many looked on in despair. The worst was yet to come. Throughout the southern lands of Aberon, a ruthless barbarian began waging war upon all who stood in his path. This man would become known as King Kagrim the Damned, and for many years he held the lands under his rule with an iron grip. Countless are the atrocities committed in the name of King Kagrim, and while he was reviled by all within his lands, his power continued to grow. None could stand against the hordes of evil men in Kagrim's army, and his realm soon stood mightier than any other. All upon Aberon lived in fear, for it seemed only a matter of time before all would fall under the dark shadow of King Kagrim the Damned. Coming of Rakah. In the 1300th year after the fall of Garrus, realm of the King Kagrim the Damned dominated much of Abaran. Fear reigned under his iron grip, and all lived in despair, having long ago forsaken hope. It seemed none could stand against the wave of tyranny which had spread across the world. So it may have continued but for the coming of the great Savior, the almighty Rakah. Appearing first in the wastelands of Arn, Rakah came into the world of Abaran as a shining beacon of hope amongst the darkness, journeying from town to town on the outskirts of that deserted island. Rakah went among the downtrodden people, healing sickness where he found it, preaching word of compassion to all who would listen. Rakah spoke of times of peace, claiming that none should live in the shadow of fear and tyranny. Soon many had hearkened to his words, for he had inspired hope into those that had none. It was not long before King Kagrim the Damned received word of this wandering pilgrim. He was not pleased by the news. Kagrim began mercilessly persecuting any who followed Rakah's path, subjugating all who heeded the Almighty Saviour's words to terrible punishment and death. But Kagrim underestimated the fires that Rakah had fueled into the hearts of men, and soon civil war erupted against the rule of the tyrannical king. Rakah himself came before King Kagrim the Damned, alone and unaided. Speaking words of peace and compassion, Rakah pled with the King Kagrim to release his people from tyranny, to merely rule with a just and righteous hand. In reply, Kagrim mocked the Almighty Saviour, and sought to slay him for daring to stand against the king. Rakah saw that there would be no reasoning with the evil king, and upon the gates of Kagrim's castle, the great Saviour struck him dead. With Kagrim's passing, the shadow which had held southern Aberan in its grip for so long was lifted. Dispersed into the winds by Rakah's shining light, hope had finally returned, and Rakah's name was sung in praise by the people who had lived in fear for so long. The Empire of Sharaka. The fall of King Kagrim the Damned saw hope return to Abaran once more. The Almighty Rakah, the great savior of Abaran, guided those who had lived under Kagrim's shadow in creating a realm of peace and prosperity. Such was the birth of our empire of Saraka. Rakah was named its emperor. All were welcome to join the folds of Sharaka, though in his great wisdom Rakah did not attempt to subject anyone to his rule. Many lands gladly accepted his offer, however, and Saraka quickly grew to encompass much of southern Abaran. Peace reigned for nearly 50 years, and Sharaka achieved great achievements not seen since the days of the Golden Age. Rakah guided his people with justice and compassion, and he was loved by all under his rule. But in the wild lands of the northern reaches, where the people had always been quick to wage war, jealousy and resentment grew against the glory of Saraka. A dark and evil sorcerer known only as the Crimson Prophet spoke foul lies into the ears of those who would listen amongst the northern reaches. The prophet bade them make war upon Sharaka, undoubtedly seeking to overthrow our grand realm and take it for his own. So was the peace which Rakah had strived to achieve for so long was shattered as battles began to break out all across the northern frontier. It has been with a heavy heart that the Empire of Saraka has been forced into war, forced to take up arms against our northern neighbors. But with Rakah's wisdom guiding our path, we will drive back the evil forces of the Crimson Prophet, and spread the word of the Almighty Saviour across Abaran. Only then shall peace reign and the darkness of war pass from this land forever. I wonder how much of this is actually relevant to our adventure. Possibly a lot, possibly nothing. I mean, these are history as written by our nation, so it could be totally bullshit. At the same time, there's no... it could be accurate too. Creation stories are another matter. I mean, It could be just a story, or it could be again a fairly accurate account of what's going on. If that's the case, the immediate conclusion is that the art item seal in the vault is the long lost and sealed demon lord. And more or less the effects of the gods are again stirring trouble here, trying to cause a war to happen. It's possible, but again, it might not be all that tightly related to them. Similarly to how in Forgotten Realms, even though the gods are constantly fighting and stirring trouble, the main plot lines are not directly usually tied to gods in any kind of a fundamental way. It might be like a priest of some gods is stirring trouble, but the main conflict is definitely between the living creatures. Should I just wait or not? Either way, I'll end things here. So we'll either have to barge in there, interrupt things, or wait. I think waiting might actually include just resting.